can cook, clean, never smelling onion rings. Hi everybody, I am Telletell and welcome back to my channel. For my oldies but goodies, thank you so much for having me again. If you are new here and this video came across your FYP page, it was for a reason. Please subscribe to us. We have a goal of about 5K that we are getting closer and closer to meeting, and I hope you enjoy the content that we do here. So what are we going to talk about today? One of the comments on one of my most recent videos asked me to talk about the Hygiene Olympics. And the Hygiene Olympics, as a person who does self-care videos, who does hygiene, perfume, shower routines, all of the things, that is not a topic that is not new to me at all. I am very much more active on TikTok than I am on YouTube, and a few times a week I post about hygiene as far as tips, and I do shower routines as well. I post some of my shower routines on my shorts, so please check those out if you have not already. But some of the comments, just about on every video, I get a comment that makes reference to the Hygiene Olympics or makes reference to the fact that I am doing too much and that we don't need all of these different types of products. And some of the comments I actually respond to. So I'm going to also show you an example of some of the topics surrounding Hygiene Olympics before we get into it. I'm going to insert a couple of clips here.
Enough with the Hygiene Olympics, okay? You're clean. We get it. Why is it that I have to take a shower for 7 hours? Why do I need yoni wash, cream, oil, and exfoliant? Baby, my yoni is clean, mean, and pristine. She don't need all that.
I don't know what happened to black folk to where we feel like we gotta do this OxyClean Hygiene Olympics with each other. I mean, it's gotta be traced back to slavery, because like everything can be traced back there, I swear. But y'all are telling people they're dirty if they use a wash rag maybe twice, 3 times.
I hate the Hygiene Olympic girlies. I really fucking do. I think that they're pick-mes. I think that they're classist.
And then we are going to discuss the Hygiene Olympics and what it means for me as a content creator and how you can benefit from this information. So first thing we're going to do is define Hygiene Olympics. Now, Hygiene Olympics is an internet buzzword that is mainly used on social media, and it's pretty much a way of saying Black people, because I'm speaking specifically of Black people, are over reliance on performative cleanliness. And when I say performative cleanliness, that is going above and beyond what is considered average or normal to appear clean or cleaner than the next person, if that makes sense. Now, why is this a thing? 3 reasons. One reason is there is a huge, probably the number 1 reason is there's a huge racial connotation surrounding this. Historically, and this was confirmed to me by my grandmother as well, who was like my local historian. She would tell me all different types of things, but she also presented another reason, which I'm going to get into momentarily. But historically, it was this notion that Black people were dirty or that they were unclean. So through that birth what is the Hygiene Olympics, where Black people, in an effort to kind of refute that notion that they were unclean and that they were dirty, went above and beyond to show white people or other people that they were very clean. Not only were they very clean, but that they had extreme cleanliness. Some people will say that segments into what is called racial politics in the form of performative politics, and that is where we are doing things for the white gaze or to appease white people or to sway their opinion against what we believed was a thing. Second thing that my grandmother presented to me, she also talked about the racial connotation, but the second thing about the Hygiene Olympics that my grandmother presented to me was that it also kind of aligned with a lot of the discussion surrounding pretty privilege online. And that was to where she stated that in order to get treated your best, you needed to look your best or at least present yourself as clean, if that makes sense. So you have to keep in mind, our grandmothers, they navigated the world without apps. They didn't have grocery pickup, they didn't have delivery, and a lot of times, specifically my grandmother, she was navigating the world with several different children. Her husband was out, he was working, and she was always alone. My grandmother said that you wanted to appear very clean, because people would look at her and assume that she the way she said it was, here go Liz with all them children. But she said that people would assume that because she had a lot of children, she was either a single mom or they was dirty. So she wanted to make sure that her children were, and herself, were always presented as clean. She also said, again, along the lines of that pretty privileged debate, she also said that being fresh, clean, and looking your best will help you do business better and help you get more favorable treatment in a way. She also believed that smelling like a delicate flower will often offset that. The third thing that I'm noticing is something that is relatively new. And that's something, when I say relatively new, I'm speaking of within the last decade. I am noticing that a lot of women are using the Hygiene Olympics as a way to appease to the male gaze. It's almost a way of performative pick-meism, if that makes sense. It's like they use their hygiene as a mating call to say, I'm clean, I'm put together, I'm wifey material, I can cook, clean, never smell like onion rings, kind of thing. So what has been my experience on the Hygiene Olympics? Now, I don't really get many comments here on YouTube about them, but I do get a lot of comments on TikTok about my content and how I am projecting or pushing the Hygiene Olympics, and I don't believe that to be the case, and I'll get to why I'm pretty gentle in those comments and my responses to those comments, because as a person who does this, I do this for fun. I don't do this to show white people because we all know at this point in time, we all know that Black when people are not clean is not a thing. Especially on social media, we are seeing a lot of things, and that Black people saying that they're not clean is not one of them. But that is not something that I'm doing this for. I do this because I enjoy it. It's not that I enjoy being super clean. It's that I enjoy mixing and matching and playing with different fragrances. I don't know if y'all can hear this, but we are getting a lot of wind from the hurricane that's going on right now. So I gotta hurry up and wrap it up. So before we possibly lose power, I'm praying that we don't lose power. Well, anyway, I get a lot of discourse on TikTok talking about that I am pushing the Hygiene Olympics and that I am doing too much in the forms of my content or the forms of the amount of products that I use. And I gently remind people, when I say do these type of things, I am not making suggestions that people should do these type of things. This is just what I do for fun, and to say these are the shower routines that I tend to enjoy. And a lot of times when I'm posting these shower routines, I am not, again, saying that you have to do all of these things. These are things that I just say, these smell good together, and that if you ever want to try this shower routine, do that. My ears are ringing, so I don't know if that means that electricity is coming, but they're ringing, so I need to hurry up here. Editing me, it in fact came. As a matter of fact, my power went out the exact moment I turned off this camera, and it was out for 24 hours. We good now, let's go. So with all of this being said, why am I discussing the Hygiene Olympics? I am a content creator. I wouldn't say I'm an influencer, but I am a content creator. And I notice a lot of people that come to my channel or that support me, they're also content creators. Many of them are upcoming content creators. I think it was important for us to discuss this because if you are doing content surrounding self-care, perfume, hygiene, you will get it. You will get the comments about the Hygiene Olympics. And my opinion and what I would suggest for you to do with those comments is going to kind of be a conundrum to everything I said. Because like I said, a lot of the comments that I get when people are referring to me in the Hygiene Olympics, they're negative. They're not really positive in nature. When I say negative, it's not the content of what they're saying, it's literally the presentation of what they're saying. I've had some of the most nastiest things being said to me. With that being said, what can you do about those comments? Absolutely nothing. You're going to get those comments, or you can filter on TikTok, at least. I don't know if you can on YouTube, but you can filter out comments to make sure that certain words aren't popping up on your comment section. But my suggestion to you is to be gentle with Black women when they bring that up or when they present those type of comments to you. One of the things that I do on my TikTok is I tell them, like, hey, I'm like, I don't really appreciate the way you say this, but I say this in so many words, but I see you. Because for decades now, Black women have been fighting so hard to escape oppression from all angles. I'm talking violence, domestic violence, racism, prejudice, career-based oppression, the glass ceiling, racial or gender-based oppression. We literally are getting hit from all angles. So a lot of times when Black people are saying things that they feel threatens them or threatens their plight out of oppression, they feel a personal attack, and it brings up like this visceral anger inside of them. And I know this as a Black woman who's had to face many of those things that I just mentioned beforehand. I realize this and I recognize this. So when I see someone saying things like that in my comments, I try to either gently remind them, hey, this ain't for everybody. I'm not saying you have to do this, but this is just something that I do for fun. Or as I've done before, is I've told them, like, I see you, sister, but that's not what this is. This is not what it is. It's just me having fun. Like, I had a video. Matter of fact, I'll put this video right here.
I can admit that we are two different branches. However, we may be on the same tree. But when I think about the Hygiene Olympics as it pertains to Black women, when I see it, it's generally competitive against other women, and it's also performative for what I interpret as them trying to flex their perceived marriageability, and also, and ultimately for the male gaze. And honey, this ain't that.
Where I pretty much told a woman, because the first video that I made on TikTok that got some traction, I talked about my grandmother saying that you should wear clean underwear. Again, remember how she said you need to leave your house the best, but she said you should wear clean underwear because you never know what's gonna happen to you and who gonna need to see your underwear, i.e. the EMTs. And somebody brought up Hygiene Olympics, and it got thousands of likes and hundreds of comments up under there saying Black women never get tired or this type of thing. And I responded to that woman saying, basically, I understand where this is coming from. This is what I think when I think about the Hygiene Olympics. I see you, but this is not it. And I'm just sharing that as part of my experience. I'm not here to tell you that you need to do anything other. So I say all this to say, are new to social media and content creating, what you need to know, especially if you are a Black woman, what you need to know that Black women have been through a lot. I am not saying take abuse from people, because there are some people, when they leave those really negative comments, that means you're not really in the space to receive anything other than what you are feeling at that point in time. And I will block them. So don't take that type of stuff. But you also need to be cognizant of the trials and tribulations that Black women have been through, not only on social media, but in real life. And take the time to say, listen, sister, I'm not here to be against you. I'm just doing this for entertainment. Whatever you doing, if you like it and it works for you, continue to keep doing it. This for me is literally just entertainment. I enjoy doing it. I hope you don't think that I'm threatening your freedom, or I hope you don't think that I'm threatening your well-being or who you are or who you want to be as a person by doing this. It's not that. You ain't got to say all those extra words, but just be mindful and think about that before you are commenting, because you will get those comments as a content creator. I don't care who you are, how big you are, what type of products you use, how little products you use, how much products you use. It's going to happen. It's just going to happen as a content creator, especially as a Black woman on social media. My second tip and my final tip, I know I'm getting a little chatty, to content creators as well as myself, is live your life. Do what you want to do. Make the content that you want to make that makes you happy. Now, I live up under a universal law of do no harm. As long as what I am doing is not making any harm to myself or anyone surrounding me, and is for the betterment of myself and everyone in my life, I'm going to continue to do it. Having hygiene content and making shower routines, that's not hurting nobody. It ain't taken away from anybody, and it's not hurting my children, and it ain't gonna hurt yours. So I'm going to continue to do what I want to do, as it makes me have fun and it gives me a creative outlet. I work every single day. I'm a mom. It ain't many things that I have to myself to where I can document it online that makes me happy and enjoy myself. I implore you to keep that same mentality when it goes into making content for yourself. Not to mention, as a Black woman, again, we get hit from all angles. You literally are going to run into someone's social politics doing anything. You can get on here and tell people how to save and build money, and somebody's going to call you capitalistic. The things that I've been called online, I told women, like for instance, I made a video on TikTok telling women, hey, you should date while you're in college and get to know men while you're in college, so maybe one day you can get married. And someone said I was being dangerous and that I was pushing women into domestic violence. It's gonna come from, no matter what you do, you are going to run into someone's social politics. But as long as you are not being harmful online, I think that is very important, not to be intentionally harmful online, and you are doing something that you are that you love, and you are not infringing on anyone's rights. I think you should continue to do it. What are y'all thoughts about Hygiene Olympics? Have you experienced it here online? Have you ever felt like you saw it here online? Talk to me in the comments. If you've made it this far, you are a real one, and I will talk to y'all later.
Give, take